Natalie Reynolds, the narcissistic cruelty of social media. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. I'd like you to meet Natalie Reynolds. You may not have heard of her. I hadn't heard of her until just recently. But here's a chance to meet her. Have a look at this. What do we see? Well, your eyes will inevitably have been drawn to the caption that had been placed on this footage by another person, which states, Natalie Reynolds crying outside TikTok headquarters after getting banned. What do you see? You see a slim and reasonably attractive young blonde lady who is attempting to enter a building where the doors are closed as she's crying and wailing into a telephone, talking about wanting to be let in, that she wants her TikTok account back, and how she can't cope with all of this. What are we witnessing? Well, as I have taught you, that this is simply a snapshot into the life of this individual. She's clearly having some kind of meltdown. But what might be going on? Well, on the one hand, we might have a decent individual who has found that her TikTok account has been banned, and unfairly so. It might be that that TikTok account provides her with a substantial income, maybe her only income, and therefore the loss of the account results in a considerable hardship for her. Thus, perturbed as to the loss of her account, the circumstances of the loss of the account, and the potential loss of income, she decides to do something about it and turns up at TikTok headquarters to try and talk to somebody, but finds that her attempt has been foiled, increasing her distress. Alternatively, it might be the case that this person is a narcissistic, self-obsessed individual who can't take the fact that she's done something wrong, even though she knows that she's done something wrong, which has resulted in the banning of her account, with the consequence that she marches down to the TikTok headquarters demanding that she be able to speak to somebody, only to find that they won't talk to her. Then again, might we be witnessing a narcissist who's experienced a substantial threat to her control as a consequence of not only having her TikTok account banned, but the loss of money associated with that, thus a residual benefit, and the loss of that money also posing a threat to control. The result is that it causes her ignited fury to appear and drives her to hoover TikTok by turning up to try and assert control over them directly, to nullify the threat to control posed by the loss of her account by getting them to change their mind. She only finds that she's further has her need for control threatened by the fact that the doors are locked and whoever she's speaking on the telephone to is not providing her with the answer that she receives. It could be any of those outcomes. But let's learn a bit more about Natalie Reynolds. Natalie Reynolds is a 26-year-old social media influencer based in Los Angeles, which, in many people's minds, means that she doesn't really have a proper job. She gained first traction on TikTok in 2022 with lip sync and dance videos. Fair enough. She wishes to post those videos. That's a matter for her. And over time, her content evolved into prank skits, relationship-based comedy, and risque banter with her boyfriend, Zach. Apparently, he's called Zachary Hulsman. The duo's playful videos made them regulars on the For You page. Apparently, she has more than 5.5 million YouTube subscribers, around 133,000 Instagram followers, and more than 33,000 followers on Kick, where she now streams regularly. On June the 9th, a video surfaced on X showing Natalie outside TikTok's headquarters in tears. She was seen anxiously speaking on the phone, pleading to be let inside. The reason? Her TikTok account had been banned, and she was reportedly trying to get it reinstated. Her emotional breakdown struck a chord online, with users debating whether it was genuine distress or a publicity move, whereby she turns up at TikTok crying about her account, but it's actually fabricated in order to generate more publicity. But why has her account been banned? Well, this is where we get more information about the nature of Natalie Reynolds. Because as reported by the New York Post at the end of May last year, a social media influencer is accused of convincing a stranger who said she could not swim to dive into a Texas lake, and then running away when the woman struggled and cried for help. Now, I can't show you that particular video, but you can easily find it online. I'm showing you some stills from it. Apparently, and I've watched the video myself, Reynolds paid a homeless woman who has mental health issues $20 to dive into the water as part of a scavenger hunt. She was live streaming the stunt along Lady Bird Lake in Austin and was filmed telling the woman to just jump in. She then flung herself headfirst into the water. "You said it was okay. You told me to jump in," the woman told Reynolds. "No, I didn't," the streamer responded, which immediately is a revision of history because she just paid the woman money to jump in and then immediately, when faced with an accusation, issues a denial. She laughed off the situation, which might suggest that she has a flippant nature and no emotional empathy for this person. She then rebuked her own friends, who told her that she did, in fact, tell the woman to jump. It can be seen in the video that the woman is actually struggling to get out of the water. "I can't swim, I can only float," the woman yells off camera. But Reynolds does nothing to help her. She basically retreats. She then starts to tear up as her friends warn her that the situation is really bad. "Stop, seriously, you're actually freaking me out," Reynolds says. "I'm going to fucking kill myself." She says she's drowning. Note that she does nothing to go back and help the woman, who she encouraged, indeed bribed, to jump into the water in the first place. That she failed to take any accountability for her behaviour. That she, similarly, when told that the woman is in distress, she doesn't go and help her. She wants to silence the threat to control posed by her friends, telling her that the woman's in trouble by saying, "Stop, seriously, you're actually freaking me out," and then issues a threat, "I'm going to fucking kill myself," making it all about her. The clip ends with Reynolds and her group driving away as a fire truck pulls up, with the influencers freaking out. The Austin Fire Department confirmed that firefighters were called to Lady Bird Lake to provide medical assistance and that a person was pulled out of the water. The woman's condition was not immediately clear, nor was it clear what kind of medical assistance she needed. Reynolds defended her actions in a follow-up stream, claiming she left at the instruction of her team, and it was the woman who first approached her and dared her to jump in the water. Well, that's not what the video shows, and this would seem to be a classic case of blame shifting. She also brushed back criticism, saying the incident will be forgotten in a week, minimalisation of it. Unfortunately for Reynolds, it garnered backlash on social media. One ex-user described her as human scum. Another person stated, "People taking advantage of vulnerable people are actually the worst kind of people they are. Predatory behaviour. For what? Likes? Clickbaits? Views?" Others suggested that Reynolds should be arrested for the stunt. It's not the first time she's drawn the public's disdain over her actions. Back in December, she was slammed for filming herself wearing painted pants to a gym and brushing off a worker who instructed her to get changed and leave. Accordingly, Natalie Reynolds pays a woman who is homeless and has mental health issues to jump into a lake, who then gets into difficulties. She doesn't help her. She walks off, denying that she told her to jump in, even though her friends confirm that she did, and then making it all about her, trying to shut her friends up by saying that you're freaking me out. She further dismisses the action by saying that it would be forgotten after a week, and demonstrates that she has no emotional empathy for this woman who she caused to jump into a lake. It would appear that as a consequence of this behaviour and other instances of self-absorbed behaviour, that Reynolds finds that her TikTok account has been banned. And the consequence of that is that she then attends upon TikTok headquarters, either in a further act of self-publicising self-absorption, or actually because she is moved to try and deal with the threat to control posed by the loss of her TikTok account. But she doesn't stop there. Let's have more of a look at Natalie Reynolds responding to all of this.
I'm a human and I just want to be treated like a normal person for once. I know what I did was a horrible mistake, but everyone deserves a second chance. Like, why else do you think I post so much? It's because I have no friends, no life, and I've had no friends for the last 3 years, and now the whole world is making fun of me for it. Try to put yourself in my shoes. None of you would be able to handle the hate that I get every single day. The world literally looks at me like I'm some evil monster and a psychopath. Like, I don't even know if I can take this anymore.
Pathetic, isn't it? Have you got out your teeny tiny violin for poor old Natalie Reynolds, who, when she's facing the backlash, which naturally has arisen as a consequence of her own behaviour, we are treated to this pity play, whereby I haven't got any friends. This is why I post so much. It's not fair. None of you would be able to handle being treated this way. The world thinks that I'm some kind of evil psychopath. No sense of accountability, no actual apology, no genuine apology. Simply, oh no, now I'm getting lots of criticism, I will go and create another video explaining that you're all being horrible, this isn't fair on me, and I am the victim. Never mind that this self-absorbed individual regularly exploits other people for the purposes of likes, comments, and undoubtedly the residual benefit of money. Notwithstanding the fact that she encouraged a mentally unwell woman to jump into a lake for $20, and then when she found that she couldn't swim, she just walked away from her. Never mind all of that. Poor old Natalie Reynolds is getting a tough time, and you should feel sorry for her. You should stop it. You should stop criticising her. After all, she's just a human being, you know. A pathetic, pathetic response by, clearly, a self-absorbed individual. But what are we seeing here? Is this a case of social media creating a monster, whereby in the repeated drive to make money, that this individual has resorted to more and more controversial behaviour because it is a crowded marketplace, and in order to stand out and stay standing out, you need to keep doing things which draw people to your channels so that you get the views and thus you get the money. Is it the case that she's made plenty of money and is simply greedy? Is it the case that she actually needs to keep doing this as a form of income because she hasn't made enough money or saved enough money? Well, I'm pretty sure you don't care as to what her financial circumstances are. But it could be that this is a comparatively normal individual who has behaved in a more narcissistic fashion, and narcissistic traits becoming highlighted as a consequence of the presence of social media. I've explained previously that much of the posting that goes on social media panders to narcissistic traits, showcasing vanity, defiance, argumentativeness, resentment, all allowing those narcissistic traits to be aired. And as I've explained to you previously, individuals who exhibit emotional empathy ordinarily have their narcissistic traits kept in check by the presence of empathic traits. But those empathic traits and the emotional empathy can be eroded by external stresses, external factors, resulting in the narcissistic traits coming to the fore. So might it be the case that we're looking at somebody that has both empathic and narcissistic traits, but as a consequence of her pandering to the beast that is social media, her emotional empathy becomes eroded, with the consequence that her narcissistic traits are the ones that are governing her behaviour, resulting in her showing off, being vain, being argumentative, demonstrating no emotional empathy for another human being? It is a possibility. The other alternative, of course, is that social media is a playground for the narcissist. As I've explained in many other videos, the presence of social media is an absolute bonus to the narcissist. It allows the narcissist to reach far more people with the minimum of effort, allowing the narcissist to assert control and draw fuel, in appropriate instances managing the facade and gaining residual benefits like nothing that has gone before. The narcissist can simply sit at a desk, sit in a chair, and cast those hooks out into cyberspace, hook people, and draw them in for views, draw them in for intimate exchanges, and it's so much easier than it once was. Is this a narcissist who utilizes social media for the pursuit of the prime aims? It allows her to not only control an audience, but control a mentally unwell woman. It allows her to draw fuel by way of people's reactions, so she keeps doing it. It allows her to make a residual benefit because she makes money from what she posts. And are you actually seeing a narcissist who has been caught out with her control threatened, with the consequence that this is the response: denial, dismissal, minimalization, and pity plays? What do you think? Is this a beast created by social media, or a beast that utilizes and harnesses social media? Has social media made this perhaps narcissistic but not a narcissist, possibly normal person behave like a narcissist, heightening and honing their narcissistic traits? Or are you witnessing a narcissist utilizing social media and her array of various unaware manipulative behaviors coming to the fore? I'd be interested in your observations in the comments section. For what it's worth, I'd suggest you're watching a narcissist, predominantly as a consequence of the various manipulations that have been exhibited and the complete absence of emotional empathy for the lady that jumped into the lake. But I'd be interested in sharing your views. But Natalie Reynolds, and there may be more of her to come, provides us with a useful opportunity to look at the way that social media affects the world. Is it the case that it takes hold of people and makes them behave in a narcissistic way, or is it simply the case that it panders and facilitates existing narcissists? I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for watching.